think the relationship between text and illustration in the picture book is what makes the picture book such a unique art form. It's related to film, but it also goes back, I think, to the very beginning of time, to cave paintings and murals in temples and public buildings, and before the stories were put together, words and pictures and bound between hard covers. I think instinctively we respond to pictorial storytelling because it's been such a part of our collective experience for thousands and thousands of years. And to me, the magic of an illustrated book, where part of the story is told by the words, part of the story is told by the pictures. You turn the page and become more and more deeply involved in the story and the pictures. As you turn the page, you sort of lose your own moorings, you lose your own groundings. Your environment fades and disappears, and you become completely a part of the story and of the pictures that you are studying and examining. And so, as someone who puts books together using words and pictures, I try to remember how special that was to me as a child, and balance the pictures and the words in such a way that each of them tells part of the story, but not the whole story, and they leave each other plenty of space for the reader to become involved and make connections between the words and the pictures as he or she examines both the pictures and reacts to the music of the words. And going with the musical analogy, I think a well-illustrated book is like a beautiful duet, where you have two voices that are making music together, but they each have their own sound, their own tone, and they're each sort of dealing with their own piece of the music. But when the two parts come together, they create a new whole that sort of soars above the sum of its parts and create something that is more beautiful and more meaningful, and more compelling than either voice was by itself. When I'm illustrating a book, whether it's one of my own or by another author, I try to always stay very closely tuned into the music of the author's language. Again, with that musical analogy, I try to make that music sort of part of my emotional vocabulary as I read the story over and over again, and become very immersed in the subtleties and the uniqueness of each author's stories, or if the story is my own, then what makes it different from stories I've done before, so that kind of growing understanding and familiarity helps me to subtly shape my illustration style, so that I create pictures that will harmonize with the music of the words, and create a picture book that is unique and different from any other, and really honors the text, enhances the text, and also gives the text a chance to breathe life into the pictures. It's just a question of getting the two of them to really work as so perfectly together that you can't imagine separating them. They seem like they belong together. They've always been together, and they always will be together. And so the book is really a unit. It's a thing that involves pictures and words, totally wedded to each other.